If you're thinking about getting a robot lawnmower like the Husqvarna Automower, the number one question is about the installation. Some automowers let you do it yourself, but there's almost always the option of hiring a pro too. In this hands-on how-to video, I'll look at what it's like to install since I did it myself, what it's like to set up and to use, and if you want to see how effective the overall mowing is, plus some of the special features that make this more than just a barber for your lawn, or how you keep it from getting stolen, make sure you watch the full review video right here on the channel. While the installation may seem daunting, once I understood what to do, the task itself was relatively straightforward. You can also look up a Husqvarna dealer in your area and pay for professional installation if you prefer. The quote for my yard, which is about 7,000 square feet, was about 2 hours of labor, so about $500 Canadian. The pros would have also used a trencher to bury the wire a few inches down. With the Husqvarna 415X Automower that I received, it came with a full installation kit. Husqvarna says this particular mower can be installed by consumers, so they include everything you need, including wire and pegs to hold the wire, as well as connectors and all your power cables. When it came to the first step of the installation, I had to consider where to place the base and charging station, and I did have several parameters here. It needs to be very close to an AC plug since the cord that it comes with is very short. The charging station also has to be very level and in an area where the mower can easily come and go with no obstacles. It also needs about 2 meters to back out of the base. It should also be out of direct sunlight if possible. I decided to put my Automower near an outlet by my garage door on a flat, shady, but open area of the yard. Next, you'll need to think about where and how to run your boundary wire, and all boundary wire must start at and return to the base station, essentially forming a giant closed loop around your yard. While it is possible in theory to cut and splice the wire, the ideal installation is to run it in one long loop. Now that does take some planning since it needs to be about 12 inches away from any flower beds or planter beds and about 6 inches from any walls, fences, or edges. To check the installation specifics for your property, you can contact Husqvarna. I first drew out my yard and then I made a simple map of where I thought I wanted the wire to run just to make sure there'd be no surprises. My drafting skills are a bit lacking, but the point is to think about this before you run it so you can anticipate any issues and not have to pull everything up. Then I went ahead and laid the wire and tacked it down using the included hooked pegs that Husqvarna provides. For the most part, it went easily around the perimeter of my yard with a few complications. I did need it to run under some stones on a walkway beside my house so we could also get it out to the front yard too. Husqvarna says running it under brick or stone shouldn't be a problem in terms of getting a signal. When you're done, you'll leave a bit of extra wire at the end where the base station connects to it and then cut the wire from the spool. The ends of those wires will get clipped into special connectors that come in the package, and then those are plugged into the back of the base station. A green light on the base station means you've made a successful connection.
Green light.
Ding ding. Now I can tell you I only used part of the first spool of wire for my yard, so there is lots here for larger properties. While the wire is still visible in some spots right now on my lawn, the grass is eventually going to grow up and over it, and it will become completely invisible down the road. If you have a particularly large space or you want to ensure your mower cuts both a front and a back lawn, you need to install the guide wire. The guide wire essentially helps your Automower find its way to the furthest reaches of your property and back to its base station again, and ideally it runs through all of the different sections of your yard. You can see what this looks like in the app. The blue line in the middle of my space is the guide wire, and everything in green is what's enclosed by the boundary wire. The red line just shows where the mower has been. Now, the boundary wire and the guide wire are the same type of wire, and the spools you receive are essentially identical. What differentiates them is how and where they're connected into the back of the base station. Once your boundary wire is installed, you'll run the guide wire out the bottom of the base and through your yard, extending it all the way to the furthest corner. For me, that meant bringing it along that stone pathway, through a narrower walkway beside my house, and out through an opening in the fence to the very front of my yard. I placed the wire both under and between my paver stones. At that far end, you have to cut into your boundary wire and then use an included clip to link in the guide wire so everything is all connected, and make sure you unplug the base station before doing this. That clip and splice is how the base station can tell which one is the boundary wire and which one is the guide wire. And you're going to connect the guide wire into the appropriate slot in the back of the base station. After you make all your connections, plug the base station in again and look for the green light. With your yard enclosed, it's time to mow. Send your bot out on its first few mowing tasks, and while it's cutting, it's going to begin gathering data to create that virtual map of your yard, which will allow you further control over the mower and allow you to get info on where it is at any given time.
Husqvarna says this can take up to 15 days, and I found that was actually pretty accurate. Hey, since you're still watching this video, I'd love it if you'd let me know that you're enjoying the content here and consider hitting me with a super thanks. I put over 18 hours of work of installation, testing, producing, shooting, and editing this video, and your support helps me keep the YouTube channel and the blog running, so a super thanks would be greatly appreciated.
Only after that virtual map is created can you create different work areas in your yard. You'll add these when you're in the map on the Husqvarna app under Map Objects, which is a pull-up tab at the bottom of your screen. Choose the plus symbol to add an object, and you'll essentially draw a boundary around that part of your lawn using the app. You'll name it, and then you can create scheduled mowing for whenever you want. I was able to create 2 different work areas for my home, the front lawn and the back lawn. I opted to schedule the back lawn to be cut overnight when we weren't using it, and the front lawn during the daytime when we could keep an eye on the mower. Those are the basics of the installation process. You can get more detailed guidance and specs from the owner's manual, and that's online too. This video is just meant to give you an idea about what's involved and help you see if it's doable for you.
Husqvarna Automower is surprisingly helpful, versatile, and easy to use. The installation process was work, but it wasn't hard, and getting it all set up inside the app was actually really easy. Don't forget to check out my full review of the new Husqvarna Automower 415X, or see my first ever robot mower experience from back in 2016 right now.